In the first quarter of this year, the Joint Working Committee of the Nigerian Bar Association Section on Business Law and the members of the Enabling Business Environment Secretariat began deliberation on possible areas of collaboration between the two. There was really focusing on the Corporate Affairs Commission. There was a committee that helped us to mystery shop the reforms as we were trying to implement them, which was key to making sure that they were actually concretized. So the sub-special committee, led by the Templars team in Abuja, were mystery shopping actively, and they really co-opted a number of their peers to let us know what exactly was happening at the CAC offices. And the joint stakeholder forums were held in Lagos and Kano to sensitize the legal community on the imminent changes and to receive feedback. Now, one of the very important things that happened this year was the passage of 2 acts very recently. So members of the Perchstone and Gray were designated by the SBL committee to assist the Central Bank of Nigeria, the National Collateral Registry, and the IBIS Secretariat in this legislative process. Partnering very strongly along with NESG, we held training, stakeholder engagements, and really engaged hand in hand with the National Assembly for the passage of these 2 critical bills. I'm delighted to say that they were recently passed by the National Assembly, signed into law by the acting president on the 30th of May, and have been gazetted. And I think this is a model example of collaborative effort of all stakeholders. And it goes to show that it doesn't take several years to pass a bill when everybody's pulling in the same direction. Basically, the next steps of what we hope to be doing, and we've already started the scoping discussions of that with SBL, are just 2 things. The first thing is to commence scoping and pulling together all the minor and major irritants in some of our laws, identifying various laws that hinder the business reform agenda, and pulling them into an omnibus bill, which the executive will be presenting, submitting to the National Assembly in due course, Q3 this year.
Another collaboration is the National Assembly Business Environment Roundtable, NASBA, comprising the National Assembly, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, and the NBA section on business law. The MD CEO, Nigeria Economic Summit Group, also gave a report on this collaboration.
To arrive at what we did, there was a scoping work done, and we identified as much as about 56 bills and about 56 laws and 13 priority bills that must be passed to law. And so that's the work we started doing. And as at today, 2 of the laws have been signed. 2 other ones are awaiting signature of the National of the President. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Bill has been passed by both the Senate and the House of Reps. The Nigerian Railway Authority Bill has been passed by both the Senate and the House of Reps. The Senate has passed the Federal Road Authority Bill, the Independent Warehouse Regulation Act Bill, National Transport Commission has been passed by the House of Reps, and the Senate has passed the Inland Water Authority Bill, the Nigerian Port and Harbor Authority Bill, and as I speak, there are 2 committees of the two technical committees sitting on both the CAMA and the ISA currently. And what we then agreed to do, where I am clamoring for your support, is that each of this work will be driven by working groups, and 10 working groups have been established. We need you to get involved in the 10 steering committee in the area of competition, regulation, trade, investment, infrastructure and urban renewal, arbitration, e-business and intellectual property, taxation, finance, and constitutional review.
The Senate President spoke more on the importance of these collaborations and called for more support from all professionals, especially those in the legal community.
Over the years, I think the mistake has always been that there's a role for government and there's a role for the private sector. And I think the mistake we've made in the past is not to bring the two together. And we can see already so far what we've been able to achieve in bringing the private sector and government together. We have, as a matter of deliberate policy, ensure that the National Assembly activities are better known to the public. As part of this Open NAS initiative, we have, for the first time in the National Assembly, uploaded a line-by-line budget to the public, subjecting our finances to greater openness. We have, in the 8th National Assembly today, in the last budget exercise, conducted a joint public hearing on the budget as part of the budget approval process. Also, we are the first assembly to deliberate and consider the full detail of the budget on the floor before passage. We are, without a doubt, the most civil society engaged in National Assembly so far, and we believe this is all go to ensure that we have interaction and mobilization of our people towards building a more virile people's parliament. The National Assembly is leading a new role to use legislative intervention as a mechanism for achieving economic reform. The current 8th National Assembly has played premium on creating the right legal framework for empowering entrepreneur development, building investor confidence in our economy, and renewing our infrastructure base across board. On infrastructure alone, experts say that Nigeria will need about $3 trillion in the next 30 years to implement a national integrated infrastructure master plan. With the state of our revenue basket, it is clear that unless we're able to expand the financing base to incorporate other sources of funding, we may not be able to meet our infrastructure target. The disadvantage of that is not only will not meet our infrastructure target, is that we will not be able to provide the necessary resources in the health, education, and the social sector. Distinguished guests who are here, this area is something I really want us to take home. There is no way government alone can fund the infrastructure deficit. The infrastructure deficit can only be addressed by us creating an enabling environment that enables private sector to come in. And if we don't have the right kind of laws that will enable that, it's not going to happen. We can't do it alone. It's only through you, through your support and your participation, can we create that enabling environment that will allow infrastructure financing. Government alone cannot continue. Borrowing is unsustainable. It cannot take us there. It can be a temporary solution, but the long term, it has to come from equity, it has to come from private sector. And the only way we believe we can do that is for us to have the laws that will make that happen.